Oh, all right. Hi guys. This is gonna be more of a serious video. I know it's a little like goofy for the thumbnail, but it's definitely more serious. This video is for more new people, like new VTubers like me, who are learning to commission, learning to do stuff, and I just want to share my personal experience of my first ever fucking scam. That was against me. That was awful. So this is my third ever commission ever. So I learned a lot kind of from being scammed. You kind of learn a lot from your mistakes, which is kind of nice. But anyways, let's kind of start from the beginning. This is a thing that happened all the way back in Black Friday from last year, 2024 actually. Um, Came to someone, wanted a Black Friday deal for their stuff. Excuse me. Oh my god, that was out of nowhere. And I basically kept more just or trying to ask them if they're qualified to do the 2.0 model I want, because this model is a pre-made model. It is a pre-made model. I won't say. I don't want people to take my model if I'm using this one still. But this is actually a pre-made model off Etsy. And basically, yeah, I went to this person wanting a 2.0 model of kind of something similar like this, but in their own design. And to, basically get more something that represents me instead of someone who also may have this pre-made model. So let's just get into this. There's quite a bit. I did highlight one thing, which is discoverings of plagiarisms and lying. So if anyone goes through these slides, which I will be posting either with this Twitter or under the YouTube link for everyone to check out if they want to check it out. This is also, I probably should have fucking. This is so bad. I should. This is very scuffed. I'm not gonna lie. I think I forgot to do this, but I was gonna divide this onto this side and then turn up the font. But you know what? I'm not gonna deal with that right now. If you guys really need to read it real quick, you could just open up the slideshow and just see it. Anyways, I only really highlighted one, which is discovering the plagiarisms and lying. So if you really wanted to just skip straight to that, in the video or just in the Google Slides, and you just want to see the issues, go for it. Anyways, starting from the beginning, I go to her. This is her advertisement. It is a Twitter video, has her name, yada, 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 a fully animated model and such, pretty good. And I'm thinking, wow, someone's doing it. What's the price for their Black Friday deal? So 800, 440 for the discount. I was like, that sounds, like a Black Friday deal, so that sounds really good. I should have been clarifying to what's in the package or not, because I assumed everything that was in the package was, of course, the animated model, the emotes, everything that's literally in this advertisement. It wasn't, apparently. Anyways, confirm PayPal, yada, yada, yada. They try to do some things, too, after this, like offering, like, the Twitch overlays and shit like that. No, I didn't want any of that. Anyways, I give my references. This is a commission. This is my second commission I ever asked for, actually. I liked the person's style. I didn't want to be a flamboyant person, so this is not what I was trying to represent as a character, but I love the clothing, the art style, and the way she draws things, so I was like, fuck it, I kind of want to just get her piece as a commission to kind of get a reference for clothing and stuff, and maybe even the snake, because I wasn't expecting this, but she made this beautiful. I'm not going to mention the artist either, because there's no point in dragging other people into this for my drama, or even just mentioning outside people for any reason like this, because they're not even part of it. But anyways, as for an extra reference, I didn't know Shota or Shoto at all. I don't know if the person copied anything from them or anything at all. I just looked up popular male VTubers. I don't know him by Reels. I don't know him by Phase. I don't know him by anything. I have no idea who the hell he is. And so I gave my model 2 here to give as a reference for them to kind of merge this with kind of their own design. I'm just reading everything to be sure I'm on track. This should have been my first clue when she basically said the expressions were not included, even though the video has it included. And I go right here and say I don't have the money right now for expressions, so I'll just take the model. I asked two of the snake hanging around my neck is part of the deal or not, because technically the snake on this model is an expression, so I didn't know what they do, and the fact that they didn't answer it should have made me assume that they don't even know how the fuck to do it. And then after that, they started working on the sketch, and the first thing they do is they show me a sketch of the clothing, and first thing I think is, oh, it's not even kind of design I want, but it's kind of getting there, and we just talk, yada yada yada. Randomly turns me into Kitsune. I didn't think of any other reason, I just thought weird. Progressed further into this, I was like, oh great, it's getting somewhere, it's looking like a rough draft now. And then I asked her to kind of copy that cosmic snake look this had. Obviously terrible, that was awful what they did. And so I just didn't feel like, first of all, I thought this was like a rough draft of the shading still. I feel like this was still like partway done. This apparently is the final draft. Fucking awesome. 440 for a fucking high school trace project. You'll see the trace in a second. Actually, I'll just show it now just for a quick reference. Literally just trace. The jacket, these little strings or tassels, what you want to call them. This. The gloves, I never even asked for gloves. The kitsune part and stuff, I was assuming that it's a trace because they tried later on that they say, I accidentally made you into kitsune at first in the first place. And I was like, no, you literally said you did it for fun, so why are you lying? So anyways, back over here. I go, oh shit, that's what it is. That's probably the rough draft. Because another thing too, I'm not an artist. I don't know the steps you take. I thought this was like a step before like truly shaping it into this, which I would assume, right? You guys go literally step by step, going from really rough stuff to really detailed stuff, right? That's the goal, I think. Anyways, I asked them, can you change the color of the snake back to the gray from my current model? And then I inferred right here, is this the same kind of package that this person on your page? Inferring it would turn into this as the final product. And then after I asked for that, do you need anything else? No, I don't need anything else for the changes. She changed the gray snake. She asked for Twitch overlays and VTuber identity again. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm so burpy. And then Awkward Christmas. Awkward Christmas is awesome. Let's go through this. So, just Christmas, I talk about I'm just drinking with my family a little bit and teaching my younger cousins how to play poker. I'm teaching them Texas Hold'em. Skip that. Anyways, yeah, by the way, where's my Christmas present? God, I really wish my current model could really express my facial expression right now, because what the fuck were you thinking? Like, what? We've only talked about the model, only talked business, we don't talk outside of fucking like the work. So that I just assumed we were business buddies. That's it. We don't talk anything like shit like this. So that was weird, and I just tried to brush it off in a weird way. I just didn't know how to fucking respond. I kind of say that, and they quotes to go, we're good friends now. We're not good fucking friends. I'm sorry to say that, and I didn't want to fucking say that. I just left it at that because it's so rude to say we are not fucking friends. Like, you know what I mean? I just didn't want to be that guy while they're working on my work. And mind you, again, I don't realize it's the scam happening yet. I don't realize it yet. Anyways, it goes a little further. It became clear that she wasn't providing what was needed. She talks about the rigging and stuff, but she was having graphics card issues. So I go, oh shit, so you're done with the model. And mind you, this is, last time we talked, this is, Christmas. This is January 14th. So I thought she really, did more to the actual drawing itself. And so we keep going. I asked for a picture again, and the image to see was a reply to her original image that she posted. This one. So yeah. So in my head, I go, oh my god, I just got scammed. In my head, wholeheartedly, I think, I just got scammed by a high schooler. So I don't want to go attack a high schooler because I'm sorry to say, if fucking this person really thinks this is 440. No, this is a fucking traced drawing from high school. Like this is a high school kid's drawing. This is not. Sorry to say, this ain't a lot of skill. I'm not saying high schoolers don't have skill. There's some that have really good skills, but like, this is like if you're just starting to learn. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking awful. So, yeah, so they went back to that image and then provided references and examples of their work that weren't anywhere on their pages. Nowhere on their pages. They provide a lot of advertisement, actually two separate advertisements. One's of this character and one's of another girl that's also very animated fluidly and very clearly a VTube model. And the thing that sucks is, I learned a way to kind of, you just take a screenshot of a character, post it on the Google image AI search, and usually you can find the original model, who owns the model, or anything like that. And that's kind of actually how I found where my rip-off design came from, actually. But I couldn't find them of the models they were using for their advertisements. So it's part of me wants to believe that it's still maybe their model, but they're still scamming people even though they have the skill to do this, which is weird as shit. But then I go, is that really, do they have the skill to do that? Because they drew this too, you know what I mean? They just copied and pasted everything, which you'll see in the next coming slides. I go to point out the plagiarism, because right after this is I get told by a friend, hey, you got a similar design to a different model, and I was like, what? And then showed me Valak. Now, I don't know Valak, I don't know who he is, I'm a random ass guy. I don't mean to like throw his name out there either, but he's, you know, the person my commission got based off. Like, this is just facts. Like, you shouldn't copy this guy that we both don't probably know. He's just a random VTuber she probably, or it looked up, or they, or whatever the fuck that person's Skylar is. And I pointed out, and yada yada, get some images, send it to her, and go like, hey, these are clearly copies. And then, yeah, this is the copy, because it goes from anywhere, I guess the neck down is a copy. Because this is the original, you know, sketch that they did as me as a kitsune for no reason. You can clearly see the jackets copied. You can see the tassels, or whatever these are, the little straps. The shirts on the incline, yada yada yada. And when they designed me further on, they even added the gloves, which I never even asked for gloves. So I don't know what the plan was here to like hide this pasted stuff. Like, this is clearly copied and plagiarized a bit. Even if it's changed this far, this right here is clearly the same thing, except this little extra two strap thing right here. Gloves are the same. The shirt lifts. It's kind of hard to see, I guess, right here, but the shirt literally is inclined the same still. You got the strap right here at the same angle. Like, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And then from earlier on, which I do want to mention, before I found out the scam, which was this slide, and I saw the other expressions and then talked to my friend, I thought it was, again, a high school drawing when I got confirmed. It was this. So instead of me being a guy who wanted to just come after a high schooler, I mean, like, I'm not that guy. That sounds like such a dick move. So in my head, I go, oh shit, I don't want to tell them to give me the whole 440 back. A kid's not gonna fucking have that, but that's clearly false plagiarism. Their parents need to, you know, at least give them, you know, they have to complain to their parents, like, oh my god, I fucked up, and then they learn their lessons and some shit. So I asked for half the refund, $220, half of it. So that was the only thing I ever demanded. That was the best part. Out of all this, I only demanded half. So they didn't do any of the rigging. They didn't do any good shading. They just did a copy and pasted thing for $220. That sounds so reasonable. So, like, that sounds even like a win to me. Like, you don't get called out in the air. This is where I think she played her mistake wrong, because she totally could have still been scamming people, I think, honestly. And, you know, once I figured out she copied my model, I was like, wow, I don't want to be that nice anymore. I don't know if I demanded a full refund yet. I think I was still demanding for half, because I just wanted to get anything back, actually, and I wanted to make it like a reasonable thing in their own head, like, oh, they're only asking half, I could do that type shit, because 440, they're not gonna fucking do that immediately. Going on, quick comparison for you guys. This is just details for stuff for you guys to read if you want to read on your own. Real quick, you didn't give me a pant reference. That whole fucking clothing image was the reference, you know what I mean? That whole thing that was a commission to be a reference was the reference. That's, so that lying right here. And then, again, you don't give me pant references. So when I go search on the web and got this one, you literally admit right here, you didn't give me a pant extra plot. Then I said, and when I search on the web for idea, I got this one. Like, she just straight copied it. Like, she just kind of admits it. And I feel like I catch her saying she straight copies it at some point, but I don't remember. If you go through all of this, I'm not going to go through every little detail of it, but I'm pretty sure in here she literally says she copied. Hold on, let's see if I get it. That's my favorite part right here. Okay, leave it. We'll get there soon. Okay, anyways, back to here. Just to go back. You know, try to create excuses. And, you know, say I search on the web. That's not an excuse to go plagiarize someone else's model. I don't... What? What kind of logic is that? That's not an excuse at all. You know what I mean? What? And then still, they also still didn't provide the same quality of what that was advertised at all. And so that's an issue. She wanted changes. I said I can't do refund. I was like, I said, why? I didn't get much clients and I can't refund you. Like, I'm starting to understand why you don't get much clients. I just didn't realize you're a scammer. And part of me realizes, do you even realize you're scamming? Like, part of me realizes, like, is this person realizing they're scamming? Because a lot of the things they say are so backward that it's like they truly believe it too. Anyways, do changes, and I told them at this point it's not about the changes, it's about the fact that it just plagiarized, it's scamming, it's false advertisement, it's about all these different issues and the fact that they're lying constantly. So now it's not even an issue about the product, it's about the issue that you're completely an illegitimate business providing, you know, this kind of product. Like, that's terrible. You're not providing what is at all what I came here for. And what's ironic too, which is so sad to say, I will never do it. I'm not going to AI. But I mean, true, I could just go to fucking AI art for probably $220 and probably get a fucking model. It's at some engine. I don't know what kind of engine, but some engine. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go to a person to spend $440 to get a high school traced art. You know what I mean? I could do half that for the refund I said earlier to go to an AI to get something even better. That's pathetic. That's kind of pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, they call it miscommunication. It's not miscommunication at all. And said, you know, she said, okay, I'll do the refund, but it'll take time. So I said, how long will the wait be? She left me on red for about a week, so I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna push it through PayPal and just see if you see the refund option again, because you left me on red, so I'm gonna force you to see, hey, you're gonna give me that refund or not. If it ain't about the refund, I don't want to hear, because that's when she tried talking to me. She said she'll do it 2 or 3 payments. I said, do you know when you'll send that first payment? Another day later, I'll send you the first part this week. Do you know when the first part will be? I just wanted to clarify things, because you just so vague. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? What part of this week? Like, give me a fucking date or a day this week. And then, you know, tries to go back. Why are you asking for 200? What's my mistake? What the fuck? Are you stupid? I don't even have to fucking... I'm not going to explain the same whole thing I just said behind here again. You know what I mean? I mean to you guys, I should say. I'm not going to explain what I said again. And then hit this part too. I asked you after sending a sketch, is it okay? And you said yes. This is where she tries gaslighting the situation. So it means it's approved by you, everything. You didn't give me a reference pocket. Again, going back to that stupid thing where she needs a fucking image of a fucking pocket. Like, are you... What? You need to go grab someone's image online and Oh. What does that say, everyone? What does that say? Not all the bottom is copied. I'm pretty sure 90% of it was. So it doesn't even matter if not all of it was. Like, the... What? What dumb logic. That's awesome. Hold on, which slide was this again? Slide 30. Fucking awesome. I might just post this as the preview real quick for my Twitter post too, which is great. God, I'm an asshole, aren't I? I'm sorry. Once you scam me 440 for a trace art, for a plagiarized piece of work, that's when it gets to me. If it was again like a high schooler just fucking scamming me or like not knowing how to properly advertise, I mean, I get it. It's your mistake. You got to learn from it, which I was trying to teach you, but I wasn't gonna brute force the hammer onto you and say a full refund, like I said earlier. But now, this, it's different. This is clearly plagiarism. This is clearly them lying. This is just them scamming. Anyways, back to here real quick, because this is important. After this thing I said, you said yes. I never once said yes, actually. We'll go back to that. And I posted it kind of here and here in the next part. And I is this not the reference image, of course, for the pockets and stuff? And then right here is talking about the last changes and what was quote-unquote the, oh, I said yes to it being the final work. So that was the change in the, the blue to gray and inferring the image. So if we go all the way back here, real quick, these 3 slides are all back to back. Like, all back to back. So they give me the quote-unquote final design originally with the blue when I asked for the, the galaxy. Is it looking good, or do you want any changes? Maybe the snake's original color over there, the blue doesn't hit the aesthetic well, so I want to change back to gray, which for them they did better. And this in the same, and I infer right here real quick. In this same kind of package that this person has on your page God, I can't speak right now because I'm getting heated a little thinking about this. Is this the same kind of package that this person has on your page? I was completely inferring that this would turn into like a final design looking like this. She never responded to that part, but she said, do you need anything else to the change I wanted? Said nothing else? Alright. What about expressions? I already told her, remember beforehand. Back here, I don't have the money for it. So going back forward again. I typed on find the standard rigging. She provided this image. No problem. Just let me know. Animated stuff and the VTuber card trying to provide more. I don't have the money. And then, I don't have the money to do the Christmas. And then Christmas hits. There's nothing else before or after that says, oh, this is the final design and I, as the customer said, I approve this. I said nothing else. Do you want anything else? Nothing else. That's not approving. You clearly asked me, do I want any other changes? And I also inferred to you that this is gonna turn into this. This was the pre-this. You know what I mean? I literally inferred that in front of her face. And it was my mistake for acknowledging or not realizing that she just completely ignored it. Or didn't see it, or whatever the fuck the case was. But that was the big indicator that this was probably going to be a scam right off the bat, real early on, before I even knew it. Anyways, now we clarified that. That was her saying that was the justification. I accept the product. Clearly didn't. Talk about it. I initially made it just like the one advertised, but you told me it'd be like your Model 1, which, again, still not like my Model 1 anyways, which is dumb logic. And to add its pockets. I said to add kind of extra looking pockets like tech wear. I literally told her tech wear, like techno gear shit. Like they have extra pockets kind of all over. You could look up some random person's design online. You could even look up like literal clothing, you know what I mean? Like you just see what kind of, I'm not saying trace it like she was doing. I'm just saying, as a reference, you understand what they kind of look like, why they're so organized out, or they're just randomly placed around, yada yada yada. Now create your own design of a pocket. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't think it should be that hard. Tracing it, of course, is easy, but like getting the idea of what a pocket is. I'm sorry. That's just crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. So I made those changes, and then they put, I actually turned you into a kitsune, which we already clarified earlier as well. But no, you said you did it out of fun. Yeah, kitsune out of for fun. Yep. Again, this is where it's just kind of lying now, officially back and back and back. And so, honestly, from now, I don't need to kind of explain and clarify anything else in the video. Literally everything kind of after and what's written is needed. I'll go over it through it real quick, just explaining the small bits, but there really isn't much for me to clarify anything or talk about anything anymore because everything's clearly all here and all the issues. So we're just gonna go quickly through this and or the rest of this, and we'll leave it at that. Also, it was a mistake. You did it for fun. Tell me what we should do. I said, what do you mean? You want to do half refund? And if you remember, right here, she's already agreed. I gave it 2 or 3 payments. And now she's trying to, again, act like nothing's happening or we never said anything about that, yada, yada. So it hits this point where the PayPal refund thing goes through for scam prevention because she said no to the refund, which I pushed in, way back. When did I do it? I think I did it here. So, yeah, on the 21st. So, it's the 29th now? Yeah. So, that's when I pushed it through officially to scam prevention because she denied it instead of actually giving the refund. And now it took money out of her bank anyways, or a PayPal account. And when that happens too, mind you, if the person doesn't have the money, it goes straight from PayPal's actual accounts. So PayPal, I'm assuming, does not like that, and it's probably going to be more side on the scammer anyways. Just making that assumption, especially with all the shit that happened when we figured out the reason why they bought honey and stuff. You know what I mean? It just goes to show what kind of company they are. And no one is safe from any kind of bucket area, which is kind of shit. I don't know who to trust. Venmo, PayPal, it's like you don't know who to trust anymore. Cash App's a definite no for me. But anyways, you don't really have someone to regulate purchases with you nicely, so you always have to trust yourself now as a customer trying to get commissions. So kind of with all this stuff that happened, I'm not exactly mad at the end, like truly right now. I get heated a little because it's like, yeah, I kind of want to mock this person kind of for everything, but in the end, it's like, I learned a lot. Next time I know for next time, you know what I mean? Anyways, this is when, it goes to them showing my account, go like, okay, I gotta wait. They should have, just added back. I told them, oh, so you came to me because the case is actually going through, and I was kind of being a dick, to be honest. And she's left me on red a couple times, you know what I mean? And so this time I was just like, okay, should I just let PayPal go through it, or should I trust the person to tell me to cancel it, who's already been lying and scamming me this whole time, to just trust their word now and cancel it and let them pay me over time? Yeah, that's not smart either way. And while I try to, have PayPal refund me, PayPal denies me actually. And for a while when I left her on red, I said I'm very busy, and I was at the time because during the time I was having an exam pop up. I had work issues with managers quitting and a new general manager that went in. So a lot of changes in my store and a lot of work that got pushed onto me. And I have some family issues. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but I do take care of my grandfather at home, and he went to the ER a couple times during that month. So that was definitely a very rough month, and while I wanted to get this out, when I said this, when a very, very, very end, I say I haven't been able to contact you now, but never got you. The fact that you never came back shows you never gave 2 shits. I'm gonna post this online. That's here we are now. But is when I want to do that, then 326 was kind of all like shit was just kind of breaking out. So I went from my work, then to school, and then my grandfather going to the hospital a couple times. So that was just awesome. Anyways, I realized I mixed my wording up a little, but yeah, no, I meant to clarify that I went from some class exams and one project that was in February that I needed to work on to the general man. I don't even have to fucking clarify, you guys. You guys should get this right now. I went for basically 3 months of just continuously a new thing popping up to make my life hell. And so I didn't want to deal with her. I just didn't. So this was like the start of it when I was dealing with fucking some exams and I think some of my work issues. And then at the end of it, I know too, during this time is when I started kind of seeing my grandfather have his issues. So that's when that happened. I want to say more kind of March actually. Anyways, go to talk. She goes, "Have you seen the request or have you received the money?" She was acting very, mocking here, trying to do this. And the reason PayPal gives where I didn't get a refund is actually the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Materially similar to the seller's description. Materially. So the fact that it's an electronic drawing, not the fact that it's quality, or it's not the same quality. It's the fact that it's just an electron. I could draw a stick figure online and sell this for $200. Like that's the dumbest. What? So PayPal, of course, doesn't want to help me, and figuring all that stuff with them, fucking with honey and stuff like that. I don't. And I'm not even mad. I'm just like, okay, it looks like PayPal is not going to be trustworthy ever either. And then from there, it just turns into a stormy conclusion because from there they goes, I don't know what happened. Yeah, because you denied the request and PayPal's awful at helping me. So, don't know what happened. I said, how do you want to process this? And they act like, I told you before, you don't dispute and ignore me. I try to case stuff. I got my account locked for 2 or 3 days. That's not my fault. You were the one scamming, providing all these issues, and I got a fucking life. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make your life so much easier while you're scamming. That's so dumb. So yeah, you deserve every insult. And you didn't win the case, so asking for a refund. No, I'm demanding a refund because your work is still not justifiable. Just because PayPal doesn't say, oh, it's a scam, it doesn't mean it's not a scam. They're not the government. They're not the court of law saying if it's a scam or not. They're just a business thing trying to organize if it's a purchase or not, if it's reliable or if it's not even the same thing. And they said it's materially similar enough. So I went down this whole rabbit hole of just explaining shit because I mean, fuck, dude, getting half of it, $220, fuck, $220 would help anyone right now, right? You know what I mean? Like $220. So I went the whole way of trying to just really kind of delve into them to make them fucking give that shit, and make them guilt upon it because again, this is bullshit. You should feel guilty plagiarizing someone else's other work and selling it for like $440. That's awful. And then, she tries to justify everything that's charged back. Like, oh my god, you put my life through hell. I don't give a shit your life went through hell. That's your own fault. You deserve it, and you just got away with it because you're lucky, and God decided to say, oh, let's give the criminal a good one for once. God helps everyone. I don't care how bad you are, God has helped everyone. You know what I mean? And you got lucky this time because God wanted to help you. If you had a shitty situation in your life at the moment and you needed that money, I feel like God helped you and you just got lucky. But that doesn't mean you deserve no repercussions this whole time. So that's why this video is kind of here still. This show, not to trust this person because that was awful. You don't just plagiarize someone's work and sell it for $440. So I go over, so what? I should have trusted you instead of, PayPal for, asking the refund because when at some point when all this stuff went through, she was trying to tell me to stop the refund in PayPal when in reality, that's just her saying, hey, cancel it so it doesn't get pushed through and there's not a chance you get a refund because why would I trust her word when she's already been lying, scamming, plagiarizing, doing all this crap already, then the regulated system, even though if it's automated, it's still a regulated system that's going to get pushed through and have things. I can't just trust a word and expect you not to block me after, you know what I mean? So, yeah, of course I trust PayPal. Didn't help. She lies right here. I mean to say shading was not done. We already computed way earlier on that I told you that the rigging is up and also the shading is up. No, you went straight to rigging. We talked about this. Your model is complete, but the rigging is not the complete. We literally talked about this. So from here on too, from the stormy conclusion on, she just constantly pulls lies out of her asses. Asses? She has 2 asses now, apparently. Anyways, I also went on the page beforehand too, talking about, so, you, instead of coming to me for communication issues, you go just plagiarize. Like, that's totally the smartest thing to do. Let's oh, I don't know what I should do here. Instead of going to the customer and asking for more details, let's just go plagiarize someone else's work. That's so dumb. What logic is that? So I point out, all the other things too right here of like all the lies, going like, hi, I just wanted to message you, I'm curious, and I was asking for an update of the model, trying, reconfirming the points basically, for these, because I'm not gonna read everything I'm attacking her with right here, because I did not memorize each of these fucking paragraphs. These are just all different things trying to make her guilt and show that she's lying. So you guys are gonna read this if you want to. I'm not going over it. I've already gone over enough clarification evidence with my word and stuff to basically say it, and I don't want to make this video longer than needed when it's already 35 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna end it short, because right here is already the last slide, these last two slides. Maybe I said your model is complete to cover a time period. So you tell a customer something's complete even though it's not complete to cover a time period that never existed. I never once gave her a due date. I was very lenient. I was very slow. I just said, take your time. She's just more lies. So yeah, that was it. She just basically tries to act like, she's in the right and then do rigging and stuff. And another thing too is she tries to act earlier. I think I skipped over it. You can't say, yeah, here's what I was looking for. You can't say it was false advertising. Yeah, it completely fucking is. Your advertisement is nothing compared to your product. Nothing at all. And what's in the advertisement, the emotes, expressions, and stuff, is not what you basically told me after, saying, oh, it's not included, you gotta pay more. Yeah, it's awesome. I worked with other people too. You weren't the only client. No one else complained about it before. So you worked with other people, got other clients, so you should have had money then, right? You should have had money for that refund, right? You totally had those clients. So first of all, I want if she did have other clients, how she tried manipulating the situation, trying to say, "Oh, you're my friend now." Yeah, no, fuck you. That's once I looked back on that stuff, it started showing to me that, oh my god, you were just playing with my emotions, making me try to feel like, oh, I don't want to go after a friend if I don't feel comfortable with the product turned out to be type situation. So you could be doing that to people. Or the other fact too, if you had a client or a couple, they just never saw it. It's not their job to go look up online constantly to figure out if everything you did is traced, and it's not exactly easy to do either. So the fact I found out and got this issue down, oh yeah, this is all you. This is all this person. Like, all this person. And so, yeah, just from there, I was like, wow. Nothing here was justifiable from their product. Nothing was able to even be said to be justifiable. It was just more excuses and lies that were just napkins to place over a wound rather than an actual band-aid. And I basically let her have one last rip, which is just a bunch of, me telling her that one big lie again, and then, saying the points, and you never came back, so you don't give two shits about the situation. So I'm going to post this online all over, as evidence for, one last attack. Something for you guys all to learn if you're learning to do commissions and stuff too. If you're new to this stuff, just like I am. Like I said, this is my 3rd ever commission. And, yeah, so I can actually keep this up for my own personal experience. So I could just always remember back to it, I guess. Anyways, I'm glad you guys came to at least. I alt-tabbed for 2 seconds and sea shanties popped up in my background. Anyways, yeah, this is my whole experience, and this person, be wary of them. Don't purchase from them, of course, I don't think. This person actually, ever since I've even made that last comment right here, where it says, on the 26th, I'm going to post this online and stuff, they haven't even been online since. So I'm pretty sure that was their cue that they bailed on the account entirely already. So it's just kind of there floating. Maybe. I have no idea still. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys if you sat through this long to watch this whole 40-minute serious kind of talk. And I hope you guys all have a great day. This has been something that was hell to try to get out the past couple months because of everything, but here we are. Thank you guys.